Thank you, Paul, the Honourable Paul Green, and Reverend Honourable Fred Miller. I'm sitting there listening to this and I'm thinking, it's time we're in federal government. I think we have proven ourselves, or you have, over many, many years. And many of you would know that this is, I've been around, first of all, Call to Australia, and now Christian Democratic Party for, over 30 years. I feel I carry a lot of the DNA, and we work very closely together. I can't imagine why we can't be there, except how people are going to vote for us, particularly Christians. But I want to update you first on what I and my personal assistant, Anita, have been doing since February last year, when really we were really fully endorsed for this particular position. And I just want to introduce you to Anita Bird. Anita and I did campaign for Paul and with Paul, and Anita's worked with me for 25 years, and she's also an elder of our church. I'm very grateful because we do work as a team, and yet we're very different in our personalities and giftings. We've travelled. In fact, we came back last night, and we've been to Broken Hill and to the back of Burke via Ningen. I thought that was just a saying, but it isn't actually. I asked about it. I said, hey, where did they actually get that from? And the local said, we don't know really. But anyhow. So we've travelled since February last year 14,742 kilometres. We've driven, out of those kilometres, we've driven 12,200. This isn't our full-time job, by the way. This is just our part-time job. And but it's interesting to look at where we've been. We've done 70 campaigns. That's just campaigning, official campaigns, and more to go. We flew by plane 1,000 k's. We went by bus 1,100 k's, and we went by train nearly 400 k's. That was the last trip we just came back from. I'm saying that because I wanted to get a feel of our state. I'm born, bred in Australia, mainly in Sydney. I've lived, city kid. But I wanted to hear and I wanted to learn. And I've certainly come back with a treasure of understanding that I would like to be able to represent the people beyond the sandstone curtain, as I've heard. I didn't understand that. I didn't know. Maybe you did, of course, but I didn't know. And it's very, very obvious when we travel that they feel isolated and neglected. And yet these towns, people in these towns want to see, in cities, want to have vision. They have vision. And not only vision, but they've got strategies to build their towns. And I was really encouraged by that. And I thought to myself, in fact, at times I felt very disappointed, I suppose, that I'd never been out to these particular towns. We have been to Tenterfield and that. And I thought, no, one thing that I've desired to do and chosen to do, should I get that Senate seat, is to not neglect and to be a true voice. We actually went to an Aboriginal pastor's church just to worship with them. It was a mixed white and Aboriginal. And the pastor came back from Walgett deliberately to come and hear me the night before. There's so much that our Christian Indigenous people are doing that I can't release it yet, but it is very exciting. And they saw my brochure and they said, we're doing this like the Light Horsemen across this country. Yes. Many people in Australia don't realise that the majority of our Indigenous people are Christian. I thought, I can't wait till I put the website up. But he said, from the platform of his church, we've been praying for a voice, praying for a voice. And he actually said, I believe you're our voice. He is an elder in the nation. Can't get better than that, really, can you? So, I thank the Lord that Reverend Niall brought up the Greens, because I believe this seat out of 6 will either go to the Green or us. I believe that very seriously. There are 9 Greens sitting in our Senate of our federal government. And 1 Green, for the first time, has been voted in to the House of Representatives. 10 green bottles. I won't go on to the song. Will I, Corey? Senator Corey. Well, we know the song probably, and that's what we hope might happen. I'm a nice girl, aren't I? I'm a Christian. Anyhow, but we do know that our battle is against not flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. I better change my thoughts. And that is the truth. But the problem is, the demonic powers work through people the same way as the Holy Spirit works through us. So, Kate Fairman is the young woman that will be stepping out of that upper house position that Reverend Niall spoke about. We put the bill on the table for euthanasia, and she's stepping out at the end of this month to run this race. And I believe, again, it will be her or us. The only way we can win this is I'd like to have 700,000 number 1 votes. Yes, I don't use the P word. Preferences. Not 2. In 2004, we spoke again tonight, Reverend Niall and myself. 2004, Reverend Niall ran for the federal government Senate. He got over 1 million votes. Didn't get in. Number 2. But number 1 will get us in. And I do believe it's possible. That's why we've been travelling so much, trying to network and ask people to get the word out on social media. So I think it's about 14.2% or something of the voting population of New South Wales for the federal. So I would just like to finish with that. I'd like you, and I also know, before I completely finish, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know Anita and I, we have travelled all these kilometres with no accidents, no negative incidents. We have even seen kangaroos run in front and echidnas wander away, and we have never ever had bad weather. That's prayer. And I want to say thank you. We want to say thank you, because the prayer of your effective, fervent prayer is availing much. Thank you very much.